10 years ago since I had my first 21:9 ultra-wide monitor, and more specifically this was the LG. It was 38 inches size, and at the time it was the biggest, and I thought it couldn't get any better. It was the most futuristic, the most impressive display. Even by today's standards, it is still impressive. But 10 years into the distance, into the future, now we are starting to see emerging monitors that are even more futuristic, even more impressive. This is the LG Nano IPS 49 inches, 32:9 aspect ratio display, and it stands to be the most impressive, the most futuristic monitor that I have come across. If you're in the market looking for a futuristic monitor, well, you can't do better than this monitor behind me. It is mind-boggling how impressive it looks. Even the user experience when you're using a monitor is impressive. Hands down, this is the best monitor that I have ever used and come across. I specifically went with LG because I have had LGs in the past. Coming back to LG is refreshing. I'm going to stick with this for a few years and then see if OLED gets really good, and then I wouldn't mind switching. But as of now, I love this thing. I mean, look at it. So yeah, it has everything I need. DisplayPort, HDMI, USB-C, which is also Thunderbolt. I think it's a beautiful monitor, but it's really, really wide. It's insane how big this thing is. It's definitely refreshing, and if you want something modern for your living room, your bedroom, whatever it may be, then you can't go wrong with one of these. I always like clean, minimalist designs, and LG, they just seems to nail it each time. Previous monitors that I have had, same thing, white and black combination, and LG just consistently delivers. It does have some sort of sensor it can use, similar to how your iPhone can adapt the brightness to your ambient. Yeah, this monitor has that sort of capability, which I find really cool. Quite power hungry. When I measured the power draw, like a decent brightness, it was drawing something like 40 watts. And when you crank up the brightness all the way up, then it hits the 80s, 90s. And then you've got all these color profiles that you can also choose from. And then, yeah, the inputs, you've got all these as option. And then you've got picture-in-picture mode as well, which is always nice to see on monitors of this size, right? The volume, the speakers in this monitor are unbelievable. They are extremely powerful and get really, really loud. It feels like LG just made good use of the space, right? And just put a lot of speakers, and yeah, it will fill up any space in your house. Obviously, having external speakers will always, will always do a better job, but the fact that there's one in here and it doesn't suck, that's what is so good. One thing I'm struggling with is just proper alignment, getting this perfectly aligned so that it's not like that or like that, like having it perfectly centered, because just that adjustability there is a whole lot. Some monitors, they give you like zones, like you move it like that and then it clicks into a zone, whereas this is very smooth. For what it is, Nano IPS is beautiful, and I think it does a really good job. And it does have built-in HDR that you can have turn on. I would say that if you're doing anything professional grade, professional work, you probably want to calibrate it, but out of the box for general use, I think is good to go, and you don't have to worry about it. So there's this, and then there are some around 42, 45 inches that I was also looking at. I think this is more of an entertainment display, more fun, more interesting, right? If you want something more towards productivity, probably the 45-inch is where I would settle. I wouldn't go this far out. It's a bit too extreme, but you can still use it for that purposes if you so desire. I think it's perfect. The design, the aspect ratio, everything works really well for this sort of monitor. There isn't anything that I can recommend that will deliver this feeling, impressive design and whatnot. The monitor definitely feels very, very stable, more stable than previous LG high-end monitors that I have had. And I think probably down to this base here, it's all aluminum. It feels very good quality, feels very premium, very well built, and so it should be. This is very expensive, and I do think that LG did not cheap out on it. Even touching here, squeezing it, you know, there's no noises of plastic cheap feeling. It's all very solid, very well done.